Welcome back. Today, we're taking the pulse of the Cardano ecosystem. And let's just cut through all the market noise for a second. We're going to look at the real underlying signs of life. The development, the community, the real-world stuff that shows a network is not just surviving, but actually thriving. Okay, let's get right into it. So what are those vital signs, really? Is it just about the number of transactions, or is it something deeper? I think it is. It's about growth you can actually see. It's about new tools that give you more power, a community that's fired up and engaged, and, of course, some seriously ambitious plans for the future. And we're going to use the latest updates from all across the ecosystem to answer that exact question. All right, first up, let's talk about the foundation. This is the stuff you can literally see and touch, right? We're talking real hardware going into the ground and real users actually using the network. This is the bedrock. Without this, nothing else matters. And here's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. The Hoskilien community just deployed 414 Spark AirNode units. Now, this isn't just some number on a spreadsheet. This is physical hardware bought and set up by the community to build out a decentralized network. That is grassroots growth in action. This whole thing is part of a really cool concept called DPIN, Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Networks. Basically, it's about using the blockchain to organize and build real-world stuff, like these connectivity nodes. So when you see those AirNodes, you're actually seeing the Cardano blockchain building a tangible physical network. It's an incredible bridge between the digital world and our world. And this isn't a one-off. You see the same pattern of real-world use over at World Mobile. They just blew past a huge milestone, over 350,000 transactions on the World Mobile chain. And what's more, that happened right as they hit a new all-time high for daily active users. That tells you people are coming back and using this day after day. Now, if you want a sign of pure confidence, look no further. The team at Surge just wrapped up a fundraise of over 10 million ADA. And I love their quote. They said, "Cardano is alive." And this is so important because it's not just developers building in a bubble. This is the market, real people putting serious money behind a project, basically saying, yeah, we believe in what's being built here. Okay, so a solid foundation is awesome, but a healthy ecosystem needs cool stuff built on top of it, right? So next, let's look at how the financial toolkit is expanding. All the new apps and features that are giving users brand new ways to trade, lend, and interact with their money. So take Surge. They are going after a huge pain point for every trader: fees. Just look at this chart. The average fee on a Cardano pool is around 0.5%. Surge's fee? It's 0.05%. That is a 90% drop. They're trying to make trading on Cardano dexes way more affordable and competitive. So, how are they going to do that? Well, their secret weapon is something called arbitrage trading. It's a classic strategy, really. You're just taking advantage of tiny price differences for the same thing on different markets. You buy it low on one exchange, you sell it high on another, and you just kind of scoop up the difference. Let's make this super simple. Okay, imagine a stablecoin, USDM, is trading for $1.01 on MinSwap. But at the exact same moment, it's only 98 cents on another DEX called Splash. The Surge app sees that difference instantly. It automatically sells your USDM on MinSwap for the higher price, buys it back for cheaper on Splash, and boom, you just made a profit on that 3-cent difference. And the best part? It's all automated and non-custodial, meaning you're always in control of your funds. And listen, this kind of innovation is happening all over the place. Strike is now offering up to 20x leverage trading on Bitcoin. You've got fluid tokens with lending markets that are 80 to 90% utilized, which means people are actually using them. And they just brought bridged Bitcoin and USDC over to Cardano. Even wallets like Tokeo are making life easier, letting you send a bunch of different assets in just one transaction. It's like the whole ecosystem is leveling up its financial game at the same time. Now, tech and finance, absolutely crucial. But they're only half the story. The other vital sign, maybe the most important one, is the community itself. How does it govern? What does it care about? How are people actually getting involved in building the future? Let's take a look. And here's a perfect example. Project Catalyst voting is happening right now. This is one of the biggest decentralized innovation funds in the entire world. And who decides where the money goes? The ADA holders themselves. They get to vote on which projects get funded from the treasury. This is direct on-chain democracy in action. It's the community literally steering the ship. And all that activity is getting noticed. The nominations for the Cardano Summit Awards are like a snapshot of which projects are really making an impact. You've got SyncAI, for example, nominated for Governance Champion. That tells you that contributing to how the system runs is highly valued. But then, to show you how diverse this ecosystem is, you've got Snek, nominated for Most Impactful Native Asset. This is awesome because it signals that the culture, the community, the fun, that stuff is valued right alongside the hardcore technical work. And in that same category, you see Strike again. You can see why it was nominated. The asset is up over 1,600% this year alone, while also giving back almost 700,000 ADA to its holders. Now that is a tangible, measurable kind of impact. And to round it out, you have IAGON, a decentralized cloud computing project also nominated for its impact. So when you see nominations across governance, culture, finance, and infrastructure, well, that shows you just how broad and healthy this community really is. Okay, for our last section, let's look to the future, because a truly healthy ecosystem doesn't just sit still. It adapts, it evolves, and it sets some seriously audacious goals. We're going to look at a smart pivot and a project that's literally going whale hunting. Take a look at Risk Gaming. Their long-term vision was this big tool called RiskWise Pro, but they were smart. They looked at the market and realized that right now, people want immediate value. So they shifted their focus to live platforms like a sportsbook and a poker game that generate rewards for holders today. That ability to adapt to what the market wants, that's a critical survival skill. And speaking of ambition, you have got to read this quote from the Trifecta project. They pointed out that their biggest competitor, a company that doesn't even use blockchain, pulled in $115 million in revenue. They're not just looking at other crypto projects, they're setting their sights on a massive established market. But wait, it gets crazier. That same competitor was just bought for $835 million. And Trifecta's response to seeing that? They stated their mission plain and simple. We are going whale hunting. I mean, that is some serious ambition. That's not about building a small app. That's about disrupting a giant industry. And that's what pushes an ecosystem forward. So let's recap the vital signs. We've seen physical infrastructure being built. We've seen user numbers climbing. The financial tools are getting way more advanced. The community is voting, governing, and getting recognized for it. And projects are setting these huge, ambitious goals. It paints a really clear picture of a network that is very much alive and kicking, which of course leads to the final question. With all of this momentum building, what part of the ecosystem is going to surge next?